Hey everyone, this is Evan from Delta Triggers. Today I'm going to talk to you about the Delta Defense drop-in system for Slimline models. So this includes 43, 43X, and 48. So in the box, you're going to get a complete trigger assembly. You're going to get a safety plunger, and you're going to get an Allen key. Okay. And then, you're going to get your manual, and it'll tell you how to, set your pre-travel, over-travel. So this trigger system, it has a standard housing. There's nothing special about the housing, okay, other than certain things are polished. The connector is different than what you would find in a standard Slimline. All right, so different connector, highly refined, highly polished. Trigger bar, highly refined, highly polished. All the magic done. A lot of magic done to the trigger shoe. Okay, so a couple of things that I've done here. Number one, you're not going to get finger bite anymore. So this is smoothed out. 2, set screw to adjust pre-travel. Set screw to adjust over travel. All right, so we're going to give you a lightning fast reset. Then you're going to get a highly refined and polished safety plunger. And you're going to get a special Allen key. So, let's now take a firearm. This is a Glock 43. Rack it back. Clear, no magazine. Clear, no ammunition. Point in a safe direction. Pull the trigger. So this is your standard trigger system in here. Everything is stock. Okay, you got a lot of pre-travel. You got a really tough brake, and your reset is pretty long. Okay, plus it's like grimy, it's gritty, it's not a great feeling trigger out the box. Like the Slimlines particularly are not great. Okay, so we're going to take this apart. Start with the upper receiver first. Use a Glock tool, little screwdriver, this little plastic spacer. Just going to push down. Put your thumb over here. Things like to spring out. You're going to take out your standard striker assembly. This little guy likes to pop out. On the Slimlines, definitely. So I've noticed a lot of the time on the Slimlines, I mean this, you'll notice already there's a separation. So, I mean, this thing loves to come apart on the Slimlines. So just make sure this is nicely together, okay? Watch out for it. Okay, so then you're going to depress this. Give it a wiggle. Ah, there we go. That was easy. Your extractor is going to pop out. Standard, unrefined. Safety plunger. Okay, so we're going to put the new safety plunger in first. Okay, just put your finger there. You're going to pop this in. It's going to catch on the spring. Okay, that's not going to go anywhere. This guy back first. Metal on metal, polymer on polymer. So it's going to go down like this. Okay, your striker assembly. This is going to feel way better if you have a Delta striker assembly. Delta striker assembly is highly refined and polished, and I mean the interface with this trigger bar just works so nicely. It is very, very smooth. It increases your brake weight feel by about 50%, so it's about 50% better. And in most cases, it reduces your trigger pull weight by about 0.3 pounds. It is a worthwhile investment in the long run. Okay, so you're just going to line this up. You're going to push this down, get it out the way. There we go. Push this down, get it out the way. Here we go. It's clipped in. You're going to. It needs to move freely like this. Okay. Can't be anything hanging up. Right. This is done. No lubrication in here, please. Refer to the video I have specifically on how to lubricate and look after your weapons, your Glocks. Okay. So we're going to look at the lower receiver. I found with the Slimlines, I mean, it's always a little bit tricky getting this out, eh? All right, but this is the first thing we're going to do. So it's all got to do with the manipulation of your slide release. So I sort of put my finger in there and I push it down and this way. Okay. And you just kind of wiggle it. You don't force anything. Okay. There we go. It just found its way out. So never ever force it. You just got to find the spot there. Okay. Okay. This has got a special grip on, so it's not going to be applicable for everyone else. But you just pop this pin out, and then you take out your standard trigger. Okay. This is just standard. Nothing special about this. Okay, so before you put this in, you would have lubricated this and how I would have showed you in my other video about how to lubricate, etc. Okay, do that first. So this set screw, if you adjust it clockwise, it's going to dial in your pre-travel. Out, it's going to give you more pre-travel. This one, you clockwise, it's going to shorten the reset. Anti-clockwise, it's going to lengthen the reset. So I'm going to run you through this. This is a little bit more difficult to tune. Although I do pre-tune it prior to sending it out, the tolerances on each gun are different. So you're going to probably have to do minor adjustments. It takes a couple minutes. Look, I mean, this is just a little bit more difficult than your full size models, because you have to kind of like take the whole thing out each time. So what I like to do is I don't put this in, okay, because then it gives me hassles. So I just put that in. This all goes in like super easy without this. Okay. So this gap that you have here, okay, is how much you can take this back. When I set this up, I give you at least 2 millimeters so that you've got enough pre-travel. I mean, this is a fair amount reduced from where it was, okay? This is a lot more comfortable, okay? So I'm just going to test it. All right. Okay. So if you wanted to adjust the shoe, you could do it without taking it out. Okay, so take your little Allen key, you'd put this in, and you would adjust a quarter turn at a time clockwise if you want to dial it in. If you want a little bit more, quarter turn anti-clockwise. Okay, there's already Loctite on here, so I would recommend, if you're going to fiddle with this, you just put a dab of Loctite, let it set for 24 hours. Okay, so now let's just say this trigger was hanging. So what you would do is you would rack it, you would give it a nice squeeze like this. It simulates a full magazine going into the gun, squishing everything together. So you're going to squeeze nicely, and then you're going to pull the trigger. All right. There was nothing that held this up. It broke beautifully cleanly. If you feel like, oh, it's a little bit sluggish, oh, it's not, it's hanging a little bit, it means it's too far. You need to dial it out, okay? You might wish, if you're really pedantic about these things, you're going to dial it in a little bit more, so clockwise, so you're going to take the thing out until the point where it starts to hang, and then you want to dial it out at least a quarter turn anti-clockwise, okay, to give you a little bit of wiggle room. So what you're going to do now is, let's just say you did want to quickly adjust it. Now that this is out, this is like, it's so easy just to pop out. Okay. Great. So now I would, okay, I need to do a quick adjustment. Do it. Once this is set, I might go a little bit of back and forth. You're going to put a little bit of blue Loctite or whatever here. Let it set for 24 hours before you fire the weapon. Okay, so let's just pretend everything worked the way that it should. You've dialed this thing in. Everything's going to go back in nicely now. All right. So, this, you see, you might just have to do this. Yeah. The way that I've set this up is, this gives you about a 4.5 pound break, which is a nice reduction. The standard one is nearly 6 pounds. So the way that I've designed this and I've set everything up for you, you get about a 4.5 pound. It's really, really nice. And everything is insanely smooth. It'll be even smoother if you use it with a Delta Striker assembly. But, okay. So I'm just going to teach you, show you the reset. Yeah. This reset is crazy. That is how quick this reset is. For self-defense guns, a Slimline. Man. That's crazy. Okay, but that's it. Thank you so much, everyone.